financial statements. So, who made these financial statements? Who plays a major role in preparing these financial statements? The accountant. So, since the accountant do that part, I would like to state that accountant is a business leader. And a significant part of the business decisions are taken by accountant. There are so many departments in an organization, and there may be people who are in good competencies in those departments. Marketing manager, administration manager, operating manager. And those people may have much more competencies, but they might have much more plans. But can they realize those plans without allocating resources relating to those plans? And who has the authority to allocate resources, especially financial resources, in making their plans into action? The accountant. Since accountant do those plans, I would like to state that an accountant is a business leader. And my next point, an accountant is an invaluable asset to a business. That is why Elvis Presley, a recognized American singer and dancer, has mentioned that I don't want bodyguards, I want my accountants. I want my accountants to save me. I want my accountants to be in this field anymore. So, with the professional competencies the accountant has, he has the ability to utilize the resources in efficient manner. He has the capability to make cost-benefit analysis. He has the ability to provide recommendations in utilizing resources. He has the ability to magnitude risk. He has the ability to provide recommendations to the top level. The independent director, the financial officer, and also some people such taken as leaders in a business have common characteristics in common. Any guesses? Yes, they could all be professional accountants. Their training in professional accountancy have them led the path to go to the top level of the business. So, they are acting as leaders just because of the fact that they are professional accountants. So, professional accountants enlighten the world with their leadership, with their great vision, with their great mission, and with their capacity to do as accountants in business world. So, to conclude, I would like to make the fact that with the development of the technology, the traditional role of accountant, which was to put debit and credit entries, have been replaced by the computer softwares. And most of the people argue that accountant has no more role to do in business world, but that is not the reality. Accountant has a much more role to do in business world. He is taken as a strategic business partner in today's business world. An accountant is a value creator to the business. An accountant is the person who is most important to the business. And those all words put together, it means that accountant is a business leader. Throughout my speech, I wanted to highlight a certain topic. That is, leader is not the person who always be in front of an organization. If a person provides directions, guidance, provides the path for success, he is the good leader. He is the person who provides the vision, mission, and organizational objectives. So, finally, I would like to say that only accountants save the world through their goodwill, reconciliations, and peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Ms. Sandini. Well, we'll go for our next contestant now. I would like to request our judges to pick another name.
I would like to invite the next contestant, Mohammed Abu Yusuf.
Representing the Institute of Coastal Management Accountants of Bangladesh. Respected chair, judges, professionals from home and abroad, and SAFA regional friends, Good morning to everybody. Today I am here to deliver the speech on IS and IFRS. Yeah, all are talking about the IS and IFRS because, let's see, the whole world is considering a global bridge. For this, a single set of high global accounting standards are needed. Then it will benefit the auditors and investors from throughout the world to understand it very easily in a harmonized way. IFRS, which is a principle-based framework, began with an attempt to harmonize accounting across the European Union. But the value of harmonization quickly made the concept very attractive around the world. And IASC, International Accounting Standards Committee, the predecessor of IASB, issued the IASS, and they issued IASS in between 1973 and 2001. After that, in 1st April 2001, ISB took the responsibility from the IASC and then continued to develop the IFRS that we are following today. Now the most important thing is that how these IFRS are developed. IFRS are developed through an international consultation process which involves individuals, organizations from the international, and this process consists of the few steps. That means setting the agenda, planning the project, developing and publishing the discussion paper, and exposure draft, and finally developing the standards that's called the IFRS. Basically, IFRS are designed as a common global language for business affairs so that company accounts are understandable and comparable across the international boundaries. And most important thing is that, most amazing thing is that now right at this moment, IFRS have to followed by more than 100 countries and 2/3 of the G20 countries. There are 41 ISS, some of them are not used today, and 16 IFRS, and they are categorized in 5 introductory principles: group statement, statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income, and disclosure. I already mentioned that ISS are converted into IFRS. For example, IS 17 converted into IFRS 16, lease. Actually, why these are converting into IFRS? Because to reduce the manipulation that's did in early, in IS 17 for leases there are both finance lease and operating lease, but IFRS 16 only imposed a single lease accounting model to follow for the leasee unless the lease term is 12 months or its value is very nominal. In that case, leasee has the option to charge the lease payment in the statement of profit and loss account, and it will be effective from 1st January 2019. And another changes is that IS 18, IS 11 converted into IFRS 15, that means revenue from contract with customers. In IS 18, there are different methods to recognize the revenue from goods and service, but IFRS 15 provides a single principle-based 5-step model to follow all contracts with the customer. That are identify the contracts, identify the performance obligation, determine the transaction price, allocate the transaction price, and finally recognize the revenue when the entity satisfies the performance obligation. In the same way, IS 39 converted into IFRS 9, and it is one of the most complex IFRS because it includes many things. What is the financial instrument? Financial instrument is any contract that gives rise to the entity, that gives rise to the one entity and financial liability to the another entity. Now, what is the financial asset? Financial asset may be cash, a contractual right to receive a cash, and this may be trade receivables, options, shares, but share must be held for an investment. But for trade receivable, the earlier practice for the companies that they charge bad debt for provision for the receivable. But those companies now, those who are following the IFRS 9, they should charge immediately in the financial statement. And there is another important thing is hedging that is also included in the IFRS 9. Hedging means mitigating the risks. It includes two things, that is hedging item which risks will manage, hedging instrument by which it will manage. By which it will manage means it may be managed by derivatives. So a derivative may be a financial instrument with 3 characteristics. It is its value changes with interest rate and other things, and it has no initial investment, and it will be settled in the future. So what are these? It may be options, it may be swap. These are this, and there is another immediate derivatives. Immediate derivative means a single hybrid derivative which includes both derivatives and non-derivatives. For example, rent, lease with contingent rent. Lease is the host contract which is not the derivative. Contingent rent is the non-derivatives, is the derivatives because it matches with the derivatives characteristics. In the same way, agriculture plays an important role in the economy of the country. So agriculture industries must follow a specific guidelines so that its statement will be comparable, understandable very easily. Like IS 41 agriculture, which applies the biological asset except the BRL plants. But the question is, whether the agricultural land and intangible asset in the agricultural field will apply under IS 41? No. It will apply in the respective IS 16, IS 38. That's the match. But IFRS, in IS 41, there is an amendment in 1st January 2016 that BRL plan should measure under IS 16. Now what is the BRL plan? BRL plan is a plan which used for agricultural produce and beer produced for more than one accounting period, and it is very unlikely that it will be sold as an agricultural product. So it is very logical to measure the BRL plants under IS 16. For example, in case of tea industry, what will be the BRL plants? BRL plan is the tea tree and it should measure under IS 16. And IS 41 measurement should be done for the tea tree leaves this. And now the question is, BRL plan before maturity, how it will measure? And there is also a guideline is given for measuring the BRL plan. It must be measured by following the accumulated cost. That's like a self-construction asset. Before concluding my speech, I'd like to thank you all for listening to me. And there are some criticism of IFRS that they are not following in the US, the most leading economic country. And there are some few criticism from the France. And most important criticism is that IS 29, financial reporting in a hyperinflationary economy. During the 6 years in Zimbabwe, it has no positive effect. And the most believe that IFRS will be the global gap because of its number of benefits by adopting the IFRS. So that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Mahmoud Abu Yusuf. I would like to request our judges to pick the next contestant's name.
Raihanul Haq Bhuiya.
Raihanul Haq Bhuiya. Please welcome on the stage Raihanul Haq Bhuiya, who is representing the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of Bangladesh, ICMAB.
Okay, Abdul Hakim Halwan.
Okay.
Abdul Hakim Halwan.
Mr. Abdul Hakim Halwan, who is representing the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, ICASL, and his topic is Potential of SARC Economy, and your time starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Members of the contest panel, invited audience. Starting from the mountain ranges of Kandahar and going down towards the shores of God, and also encompassing elite cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Karachi, Dhaka, Colombo. This one is about the region of SAFA. I am Abdul Hakim, representing Institute of Chartered of Sri Lanka. I am going to talk about why there is potential in SAFA region economy. SAFA region at present has a population of around 2 billion. A population of around 2 billion, but still there is no country which has been named as superpower. What is the reason behind it? We are unable to organize our resources in a proper way. But still, there is potential. There is potential still. To go by country-wise, to begin Nepal, a country which was suffering from civil unrest for the past few years. But from 2006, they have been making great deal of economic growth. Up until 2015, where a great and unexpected earthquake struck there. But the future of Nepal economy is not bad. Nepal's main trading partner, that is none other than India, has entered into an agreement. India-Nepal Free Trade Agreement is named as. By the Nepal Free Trade Agreement, Nepalis are able to export their goods free of custom duty. This would mean that Nepal has a good deal of potential so that the economy would be growing. Moving on to next, the giant in the region, that is none other than the India. Do you know who is the third largest economy in the world at present? Is it the US? Is it Argentina? It is UK? Or is it China? No, it is our own India. India at present has around US dollar 11.7 trillion of GDP in terms of purchasing power parity. India in the past few years have been taking down revolutionary processes to their economy. The main one being the Make in India campaign, which was started by His Excellency Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. The Make in India campaign looks down at enriching jobs in 25 sectors of the economy of India. By the Make in India campaign, Indian government thinks to obtain foreign direct investment for their businesses. As this, the foreign direct investment measured on country-wise, the Indians were the top country which received FDIs in the year 2015, even surpassing China, the largest economy of the world. Another revolutionary project that has been taken by the Indian government is the demonetization of rupee for 3 months. 86% of the money supply of Indian currency was taken out of circulation. People blame the government, people went on protests, but still there are benefits. Tax evasion and black market is present a lot in India. So, by engaging in the rupee demonetization, the black market was caught red-handed, and the Indian government were able to raise a huge amount of tax revenue. At present, it is expected that the Indian economy would be even surpassing the United States of America by the year 2050. As once upon a time, Dr. Abdul Kalam, former Indian president, said, Indians are not a developing nation, it will be a developed nation in the future. Moving towards next, Pakistan, a country which has a huge population, but still they are not developed as much as they have the potential. The main reason is that the political instability and terrorism which are affecting them. But there are some positive signals heading into Pakistan economy. The women participation in the labor is just 50% in Pakistan. But actually, the graduates who are getting out from the universities are mostly women in Pakistan. So what the Pakistani government should do is to make the women participate more in the Pakistan economy. Moving towards my own country, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, as its name suggests, is a pearl of Indian Ocean. Its strategic location in the world map is the most important thing. Sri Lanka was also a country which was suffering from terrorism. The past 6 years, Sri Lanka has been showing great economic development. Culminating that, there is a cold war between the Indian and Chinese government to capture Sri Lankan market. Sri Lanka is benefiting from this cold war. At present, there are certain projects, such as the Port City project, which the Chinese government is initiating. They are expected to bring great economic advantages for Sri Lanka. Also, Sri Lanka has been able to get the GSP Plus concession. The GSP Plus concession is a concession given by the European Union for goods that have been exported for their region, such as textiles, etc. So Sri Lanka is another country which has a huge potential, and is expected by another 4 years, Sri Lankan per capita GDP would be heading towards nearly 15,000. Okay, Bangladesh, our own country which even is been organized. Bangladesh is also one of the third world countries at present. But Bangladesh has one of the good and efficient labor force in the world. Companies, multinational companies rather, would always like to open up their factories in Bangladesh so that the labor cost would be going down. A proper solution for this would be the Bangladesh government identifying their employees and opening up of proper factories within their countries so that the current GDP of their country would be increased. Bangladesh's main export product, that is the garments, can be benefiting from this. Other economies in the SAFA region, such as Bhutan, Maldives and Afghanistan, all of them have potential. All of them have potential to grow. Maldives, in the sense, they are always dependent on tourism a lot. Tourism industry is the main industry of Maldives, and for the past few years, tourism industry has been booming a lot. Maldives is expected to gain the highest gross domestic product by per capita